Hello guys, welcome back to another vlog. This time we are in London and I'm staying in the Tower Hill area, east side. It's kind of unfortunate that California gets west coast, best coast. You know, the rhyme there is quite nice because ultimately I'm a girl of the east. I'm from New England and other things and other locations that's really irrelevant, but yeah, now in London I'm on the east side and I really like east side. East is the best. Sorry to, I don't know, whatever. This London, the weather has been beautiful. I got here yesterday morning super early. Wasn't able to check into my hotel, but it's okay because I just basked in the glorious sunlight. It was clear blue skies. Even right now the skies are blue. There's this just tiny bit of like clouds, not even clouds, like wisps, just little shapes here and there. The sun is about to set. It's golden. It's glorious. Beautiful weather this week and I'm so pleased for that. And like the weather is not too cold. Like you still need a jacket. I still need a jacket. But it's just mild and nice and it's so grand. Yesterday, I was hoping that I could find myself in a bookstore and stumble across some of the international Booker books so I could get some physical ones. I really want to get the Book of Disappearance, a physical copy of that, and I also think On a Woman of Madness or whatever that is, because that one seems like sometimes reading on the Kindle is a little tough for me if the book seems kind of dense, especially if I'm going to be like underlining and thinking back. Like it takes me out of the experience having to highlight the text and finagle with that. It's really annoying. But yeah, so the first bookstore I went to Foyles, and I found this man wearing glasses who works there, and I was like, hey, like, excuse me, would you be able to help me find some of the international Booker books? He took me on a journey through the store, and he was like, we only have 3 of them, and I was like, oh, okay, like, cool. The first one he took me to was Perfection, and I was like, oh, like, I don't need a copy of this. My friend is gonna get me one. My friend has one, and she's gonna give it to me. My friend Yahaira, who also made this. And he was like, well, is it a signed copy? And I was like, no, I don't think so. And he just thrust it into my hands and like took me along throughout the rest of the store. And I had to hold it the whole time because, you know, I had to wait for him to look away so that I could put it back. And then they had Eurotrash, which I already have a physical copy of. And they had another one, Under the Eye of the Big Bird, which, as we know, I read on the Kindle. And so we had a nice, lovely chat. I put the book back, I left, and then I went to Waterstones, Piccadilly, and same situation there. They didn't have any of the books that I wanted. But then I also went downstairs into the basement, and I saw the Booker library that they've put together. And at first I was kind of, I don't know, I was like, not a bad attitude per se, but I was kind of just like a little too cool for school, I guess you could say. And I just thought like, oh, what's the big deal? Who cares? Whatever. But then I went and it's awesome. It's like sick. It's really cool. They have like a small little room, not like small-ish room, and they've done it like every year, and then they have the winner and I took videos so you'll see, but they have like the short list, and then at the number top of the shelf they have the winner, and they go through all of the years, and it was really cool. I liked it a lot, and I was lucky that it wasn't busy, so I basically had the whole like that space to myself, and I was able to walk around. And then after that I went to Hatchards, also asking if they had any of the, and this time I changed it up. I just went to the guy and I asked him for the 3 specific books that I wanted. They didn't have them at all. And then, yeah, that was mostly that day. I had a really lovely matcha. And then today, I went to the V&A Museum and I went to the Great Mughal exhibition, and it was amazing. Incredible. If you are in London, you have until May. That is when the exhibition closes to check it out. It's looking at the Mughal Empire in particular, starting with Akbar and then his 2 successive sons who ruled in his place after his death. And considering the art of the time and the ways in which the Mughal influence was really the golden age of all of this art, and it's so stunning. You see so many miniatures, and I don't know, I feel like because of my experience today, I feel as if I've not seen enough miniatures in the past, because though I've been to museums in India, I normally spend more time contemplating like modern art when I'm there. And I'm sure at the MFA and the Met, I've definitely seen like miniatures in person, but here, this was a different experience. I feel like the level of details I was able to see, the colors, the ways in which you see like the gradient of the color, my mind was blown. I honestly kind of want to go again. Like, it was really good. It was so good. I will include photos and videos, whatever I took, but I don't know if they entirely even captured the detail. There was one thing that I saw that I was like, this is so romantically coded. Like, those people, they're not ready for this. They're not ready for what I was gonna name like one of the books of the Mughal Empire, but I was gonna pick the wrong one, so I'm not even gonna bother with that. But yeah, now I have some work to do. I was thinking of filming my, what is the name of it? My wrap up. My hand's hurting. This is heavy. Ow. Yeah, I was thinking of filming my wrap up, but the light's not shining beautifully, and I'm kind of tired. And then the other thing I wanted to say, oh yeah, I finished Reservoir, bitches, yesterday. Saying that like out loud feels so uncomfortable to me. Just in like reservoir, that's not a word I have to say very often. I don't feel like I'm doing it justice, but it was not for me. The stories feel really, it's tough because I do know that I believe this collection came out of the author's like own familial experience with violence against women, and these 13 stories are considering the lived experiences of women in Mexico. And the first story is quite strong, and then the last story is incredibly strong, super powerful, very like personal, personal, very personal, but also just like you can see the ways in which the previous stories were building blocks towards that. But then upon reading the final short story, you realize how everything preceding it was a letdown. And if those things earlier, maybe if we'd cut a few of those and made what we had a little stronger, differentiated the voices, we could have had something that really just like was better. And I know I'm being a little bit vague, and I think part of that is because I don't want to use like all the best lines for when I do like my actual reviews. But yeah, that's the main takeaway there. And then I've started the leopard book hat one, and I'm not really enjoying it. And that also stems from the author's personal experience, in the sense that I guess her sister committed suicide in a way that's very similar to how one of the characters in the leopard skin hat book also passed. And it just feels like when you find out that there's like such a personal connection to a work of art, you feel like a horrible person for speaking poorly about it. But I'm not really vibing with this book, and it's really short. I'm only about 35% of the way through. I want to finish it soon, but it's just like not an enjoyable reading experience. And so I guess you could say it's a character study of Fanny, the woman with the hat, and it's also contemplating like the narrator and writing just a tiny bit, but for the most part nothing's really happening. So those are some of my updates. Oh, and I'm going to go, this is what you have in store, okay, for the rest of this vlog, most likely. Tomorrow's a work day for me. I'm getting a bunch of stuff done, so not very many exciting things. Then Wednesday, I'm hoping to go to this estate that's about an hour away from here that has like, typical British old stuff. And then also the people who owned it developed a house that's an example of really beautiful modernist like design choices. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I'm really keen, if you would, to see that. That's that day. And then Thursday I'm going to Edinburgh, and I'm going to hang out with Owen Plack and hopefully buy the Book of Disappearance, because they have promised me that it is in all of the bookstores. And then I'm going to be back here on Friday, and I'm hoping to do a gallery day and just like check out all of the galleries in Fitzrovia and like that area and really chill. Then I want to see the new Robert Pattinson film, Mickey, 17 or something or other. And also maybe go to see another film at the Prince Charles Cinema. I haven't picked which one. And yeah, that's this week. And I should think about my life. I really need to do that. Oh my God, perfume. That's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. This is such a long clip. Please forgive me. Okay, so I went to Harrods today, and they have if you've never been to Harrods, they have a one room. It's not that large, but it is stock full with perfume and sales associates. So much so that I immediately get overwhelmed. It's just so much. It's a lot. And I think it's called the perfume hall. So that's one area. And then like kind of like off one of the doors, there's like more perfume, but a little bit more spaced out. They have Diptyque, Tom Ford, Loewe scents, Aesop, Hermes, whatever. And so I found this one place because part of this, I think we're going on a perfume journey. Like, I know that perfume is not my forte, but we're going on a journey together. So I was on Reddit a couple days ago, and I found like these, they assembled all of these various like perfume quizzes that you can take. And I was like, I love a quiz. You know who does one? So I did a few, and one of the brands that I discovered was this British brand that starts with a P that I have no idea how you say. I'll insert word here. And I took their quiz, and because as we can see from my previous video where I was speaking about pomegranate noir and Tom Ford's ombre leather, I am interested in scents that are woody, a little spicy, strong. The through line between both of those is that I think like jasmine, musk, amber. Amber is really big. I do really like that scent. That was like the through line there. So then from that company's website, they had that quiz. I took their quiz. One of their most popular scents is halefti and I believe Cairo, and both of those also are prominent in that they have like leather, amber, musk, whatever. So I found that they were also in Harrods. I tried halefti. I like smelt it. I did not like it. And then I asked like for what the next most popular scent was and whatever. And I picked up Cairo. I put that on this wrist rather. And this does have like leather. Actually, no, I kind of like it. The first like spritz of it when I had it on my wrist, I wasn't that impressed, but this is very like strong and woodsy. Yeah, it's nice. And then on the other hand, because he was like, oh, if you like that, this is something else, but it's sweeter. And I was like, okay, sure, like let me try that out. And on this side, I have Constance. Now, Constance is vanilla, salted caramel, and something else. But it's very beautiful. It's really nice. This is a gourmand scent, I guess you could say, because it has that like food-related stuff. And I really like it a lot. It's just pleasant. It's warm and inviting. And then I went on the website to read about the copy. So I think it's called Changing Constance or something like that. And it was being described as Constance is a woman who is fighting for change. She at first appears aloof, but when you get to know her, she's as sweet and warm as salted caramel. It was like something silly like that. And I was like, is that what I want? Is that what is next for me? Is that the next scent? And then as I was leaving, I walked by Prada, and they had, okay, well, actually, backtrack a little bit more. As I was leaving, there's like two different Prada. There's the Prada beauty section, and then the Prada, like, with the handbags downstairs. And so this woman was holding that Prada perfume that's in that triangle box. I was going to try to do a triangle with my hand. That's kind of weird. She was like, oh, like, do you want a sample of this? And I was like, no, thank you. No way, Jose. And I walked right out of there. But then I walked by the Prada section, and I saw this perfume that was purple, like light purple, lilac. It was beautiful. And I was so intrigued. I spritzed it on a little paper thing, and I smelled it, and it smelled to me very fresh, like lemongrass. Though I don't even really know what lemongrass smells like, but that's what I think it was. And then I went to go wait for the bus, and while I was doing that, I decided to Google the scent, and it's actually fig. And I'm really intrigued by that. So maybe I'm gonna go find another Prada and spritz myself with that, and then I will have some thoughts there. Those are the final things I really wanted to say, no, actually the final thing I have to get off my chest is that today I went to Genki Matcha and I got a matcha latte with vanilla and it was so delightful. I'm going to go back tomorrow and get one again. Now that's a wrap on this talking clip. I will see you maybe tomorrow or in 2 days from now. Bye. Hello, beautiful people. Let's give an update because it has been a minute. I went to Eltham, I think that's how you say it, Eltham Palace, which is about an hour away from where I'm staying in Greenwich, still London. It's supposed to take an hour on the train, but because the weather's so beautiful and in general, I'm not overall super keen on trains. They're kind of loud. I took the bus and it took me an hour and a half to get there and an hour and a half to come back, but it was really just a lovely bus journey. On the way there, I was listening to music, I was watching the streets become just a little bit more residential, and then on the way back, I listened to a Lost Ladies of Lit podcast on Fanny Wright, I believe her name is, and then I also listened to an old episode of another podcast, irrelevant. And let's say the palace, it's quite lovely. I guess it was first founded either in 1200 or 1400, and it was super bustling, poppin' palace in England. And then Henry VIII, he wasn't born there. I think he was born in Hampton Court. Fact check me. But he grew up there. Oh, that's my knee. He grew up there with his sisters, and after he died, his successors were not keen on the palace, so it fell into disarray, super disarray. It was crumbling, falling all over the place, and then in the early 1900s, the courtyard, I don't know how you say their name, Virginia and her husband Stephen came through and they took a lease. Can you believe that? A lease. They took a lease out on the place and they invested a lot of money and brought it back to what it is now, and they made it into this modernist, that the main house is a modernist temple, I guess you could say. Not a temple, but it's quite beautiful and a testament to modernist design, and it is really nice, especially when you enter in that sitting room area, and it's so just lovely, and there's a real, just a time capsule almost. And then you go about through the rest of the house. I would say I do think it needs just a tiny bit more of love and care. There's just you can tell that this is not the most poppin' place in England, and okay, fine, I get it. It's just like a random palace, but yeah, it was a really lovely way to spend my time. And then yesterday I went to Edinburgh and Owen showed me around and it was awesome. I had such a great time hanging out with them, and we went to 4 different indie bookshops. One of them was Toppings. I think that one was my favorite, and it is in Toppings that my eye immediately flew towards The Book of Disappearance and Heart Lamps. I think it's called Heart Lamps, but whatever, I'll show the photo. I got both of those books. I'm super excited. Especially because I don't think Heart Lamps was supposed to come out until much later in the year, so it's a win for me. And then Owen also gave me their copy of On a Woman's Madness, so I came back with a book haul. And yeah, I just had we had such a great time walking around the streets of Edinburgh. I think I managed more than 20,000 steps. The weather, once again, was beautiful. I know I'm being a little annoying here, but I don't think you guys understand how lovely the weather is this week and how exciting it is to me after what felt like a long dark, I repeated dark there, my bad, but after a long dark winter, just this sunlight is so delightful. It just makes me feel so happy. And yeah, that was the day. Today, I think I would like to ideally go to some galleries, but we will see if I have the energy for that. but if not today, then tomorrow. And I want to maybe watch a movie. That's that, and perfume updates. Okay, so I don't know where I last left off, but I tried Diptyque's perfume for their street. I'm not sure if I'm that keen on it. The Prada scent, I got that sampler and I put it in my handbag and it made my handbag smell quite nice, and I'm kind of like, oh, maybe I should give that a go. But then I also was like, got a headache on one of these days, and I was like, maybe it was just too much perfume. Maybe I need to take a break. Those are that's really my main update. But I do really want to check out the Regime Le Fleur. I don't know if that's the name of it, but they have pretty bottles. Chloe Sevigny made a perfume with them. I want to check them out, but I don't know if it's really in my vicinity. I don't think I could find a retailer in London that sold them, but maybe they have samplers online from the brand itself, and then I found some other sites that also sell perfume samples, so I might give that a go. That's my perfume journey. That's the update there. And yeah. Oh, books. I finished Under the Leopard Hat. I wasn't keen. It made me miss Held by Anne Michaels from the Booker list. Leopard is doing two things. It is supposedly. On one hand, it is a character study of a woman named Fanny who has mental health issues. The second, it is an exploration of fiction and the narrator, capital T, capital N, the narrator. I will discuss more in my wrap up. And yeah, let's get this day started. Bye.